Imagine a country with a population of barely 500,000 people, a nation made up of 10 volcanic islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. For centuries, it remained unknown to most of the world. But in 2026, everything changed. Cape Verde, one of Africa's smallest nations, stunned football fans across the globe by reaching the FIFA World Cup for the first time and producing one of the tournament's biggest fairy tale stories. They advanced from a difficult group and pushed defending champions Argentina to extra time before narrowly losing 3-2 in the round of 32, earning worldwide admiration. But football is only part of the story. This is the remarkable journey of Cape Verde, a nation built on resilience, shaped by the Atlantic Ocean, and united by an unforgettable dream. To be continued. Cape Verde, the tiny island nation that shocked the world. Part 2. A nation born from the Atlantic, 120 to 320. Long before football brought Cape Verde into the global spotlight, these isolated islands were completely uninhabited. Hidden in the vast Atlantic Ocean, nearly 600 kilometers off the coast of West Africa, the Cape Verde archipelago remained untouched by human civilization for thousands of years. Everything changed in the 15th century. Around 1456, Portuguese explorers reached these volcanic islands during the Age of Discovery. Finding no permanent population, Portugal quickly recognized Cape Verde's strategic location between Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Soon, the islands became one of the Portuguese Empire's most important Atlantic outposts. Ships carrying gold, spices, and goods regularly stopped here to resupply. But alongside trade came one of history's darkest chapters. Cape Verde became a major center of the transatlantic slave trade. Thousands of enslaved Africans were brought through the islands before being transported across the Atlantic to the Americas. This painful history left deep scars, but also shaped the nation's unique identity. Over centuries, African and Portuguese cultures blended together, creating a society unlike any other in the world. The Cape Verdean people developed their own language, Cape Verdean Creole, while Portuguese remained the official language. Life on the islands was never easy. Frequent droughts, volcanic landscapes, and scarce natural resources forced generations of Cape Verdeans to become remarkably resilient. Many emigrated in search of better opportunities, creating a global diaspora that today is larger than the country's own population. Finally, after more than 5 centuries of Portuguese rule, Cape Verde achieved its independence on July 5, 1975. Freedom marked a new chapter. Without vast natural resources or a large economy, the nation invested in education, democracy, stability, and its people, laying the foundation for one of Africa's most peaceful and politically stable countries. Few could have imagined that this tiny island nation would one day capture the world's attention, not through conquest, but through culture, resilience, and the beautiful game of football. Part 3. The Soul of Cape Verde. Culture, music, and island life. To truly understand Cape Verde, you have to listen before you look. Listen to the waves crashing against black volcanic cliffs. Listen to the rhythm of the drums. And above all, listen to the music. For the people of Cape Verde, music is far more than entertainment. It is memory, identity, and emotion. The country's most famous musical tradition is Morna, a soulful genre often compared to the Portuguese fado or the American blues. Its melodies speak of love, hope, longing, and the deep emotions of island life. In 2019, UNESCO recognized Morna as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity, celebrating it as one of the world's unique musical traditions. No name is more closely connected to Cape Verdean music than Cesária Évora, affectionately known as the Barefoot Diva. Singing in Cape Verdean Creole, her unforgettable voice introduced millions of people around the world to the beauty of these small Atlantic islands. But Cape Verde's culture extends far beyond music. Families gather for colorful festivals filled with dancing, storytelling, and traditional foods. Every island has its own customs, celebrations, and local traditions, creating a rich cultural diversity despite the country's small size. The cuisine reflects centuries of African and Portuguese influence. The national dish, cachupa, is a slow-cooked stew made with corn, beans, vegetables, and meat or fish. It is more than a meal. It is a symbol of family, hospitality, and resilience. Daily life revolves around the sea. Fishing has sustained communities for generations, while the Atlantic Ocean continues to shape the country's economy, traditions, and way of life. Cape Verde is also a land of dramatic natural beauty. Towering volcanic peaks, golden beaches, crystal-clear waters, and colorful colonial towns attract visitors from around the globe. Islands like Sal, Boa Vista, and Santo Antón each offer a unique landscape, from endless sand dunes to lush mountain valleys. Despite limited natural resources, the people of Cape Verde have built a nation known for its warmth, creativity, and optimism. It is this same spirit, born from centuries of hardship and hope, that would eventually inspire a new generation of footballers to dream beyond the horizon. And soon, those dreams would carry Cape Verde onto the biggest stage in world football. Part 4. The Rise of Cape Verde Football. For decades, Cape Verde was almost invisible in the world of football. With a population of just over 500,000 people and limited sporting infrastructure, few believed this small Atlantic nation could ever compete with football's giants. Many of the country's most talented players grew up not on the islands themselves, but in immigrant communities across Portugal, France, the Netherlands, and other European countries. Although they were raised thousands of kilometers away, their hearts remained connected to Cape Verde. One by one, they chose to wear the blue national jersey, not for money or fame, but to represent the homeland of their parents and grandparents. This growing pool of talent transformed the national team. The Blue Sharks, as Cape Verde's national team is proudly known, developed a fearless style of football, organized in defense, disciplined in midfield, and dangerous on the counterattack. Their breakthrough came in the 2010s, when they began defeating established African football powers and qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations, or AFCON, proving that Cape Verde could compete with the continent's best. Each tournament brought more confidence. Each victory inspired another generation of young players. Football academies expanded. The National Federation invested more heavily in youth development and coaching. Cape Verde's FIFA ranking steadily improved, and the team earned respect for its tactical discipline, physical intensity, and remarkable team spirit. Then came the greatest challenge of all, the road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Drawn against stronger opponents during qualification, few experts predicted Cape Verde would reach football's biggest stage. Yet each match after match, they exceeded expectations. They defended bravely, they attacked with confidence, and most importantly, they believed. When the final qualification whistle blew, history had been made. For the first time ever, Cape Verde had qualified for the FIFA World Cup. Across the islands, celebrations erupted. Car horns echoed through the streets. Families waved blue flags from balconies. Children wearing Blue Sharks jerseys dreamed that one day they too could represent their nation on the world's biggest stage. For Cape Verde, qualification was already a historic achievement, but what happened next would surprise the entire football world. Part 5. The Miracle of FIFA World Cup 2026. The 2026 FIFA World Cup was expected to be a tournament dominated by football's traditional superpowers: Brazil, Argentina, France, Spain, England. Few people gave Cape Verde a realistic chance of making headlines. But from the moment the tournament began, the Blue Sharks played with courage, discipline, and absolute belief. Drawn into a challenging group, they faced opponents with bigger reputations, more expensive squads, and far greater World Cup experience. Yet Cape Verde refused to play like underdogs. They defended with incredible organization, pressed relentlessly, and attacked with fearless confidence. Every point they earned sent shockwaves through the football world. Soon, the impossible became reality. Cape Verde advanced to the round of 32, becoming one of the tournament's biggest surprises and one of the greatest success stories in African football history. Then came the ultimate test, a knockout clash against Argentina, one of the tournament favorites and a nation with a rich World Cup legacy. Millions expected a comfortable Argentine victory. Instead, they witnessed one of the most thrilling matches of the tournament. Cape Verde matched Argentina with determination, tactical discipline, and relentless energy. The Blue Sharks scored twice and pushed one of football's greatest nations to the limit. Only after an intense battle did Argentina finally edge the match 3-2, ending Cape Verde's unforgettable journey. Defeat brought tears, but it also brought something far more valuable: respect. Football fans around the world applauded the courage of this tiny island nation. Pundits praised their tactical organization, fighting spirit, and fearless mentality. For millions of young Africans, Cape Verde became proof that dreams are not measured by population, wealth, or history. They are measured by belief. The Blue Sharks left the tournament without lifting the trophy, but they returned home carrying something just as meaningful: the admiration of the entire football world. Part 6. More than football, a legacy that will never fade. Some nations win trophies. Others win something even greater: the hearts of the world. Cape Verde did not leave the 2026 FIFA World Cup as champions, yet their story became one of the tournament's most unforgettable memories. For a country of just over 500,000 people, standing shoulder to shoulder with football's giants was already an extraordinary achievement. Their remarkable journey inspired millions, not only across Africa, but in every corner of the world where people believe that determination can overcome impossible odds. Children who once dreamed only of watching the World Cup now dream of playing in it. Young footballers across the islands lace up their boots with a new sense of purpose, believing that no dream is too distant. Cape Verde's success also shined a global spotlight on the nation itself. Travelers became curious about its volcanic landscapes, crystal-clear Atlantic waters, vibrant music, and warm island culture. Investors, journalists, and football scouts began paying closer attention to a country that had long existed beyond the world's headlines. But perhaps the greatest victory was something that could never be measured by statistics. It was hope. Hope that a small nation can challenge the biggest powers. Hope that unity can overcome limitations. Hope that courage can rewrite history. Cape Verde's journey reminds us that greatness is not determined by the size of a country, but by the size of its dreams. And somewhere on a quiet volcanic island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, a young boy is kicking a worn-out football across the sand. A young girl is imagining herself wearing the Blue Sharks jersey. They are not thinking about how small their country is. They are thinking about the next World Cup. Because history has already shown them one simple truth: dreams have no borders. Cape Verde's story is no longer just the story of an island nation. It is a story of resilience, a story of identity, a story of hope, and above all, a story that proves the impossible is sometimes only the beginning.